the Supreme Court has ruled to recognize nearly half of Oklahoma as native land. And this ruling comes based off of a rape that took place, and it should have been considered a part of the reservation land instead of being the authority of the state of Oklahoma. It should have been handled by that nation, which happens to be the Creek Nation, I believe. And instead of this person being tried by the state, it should have been a federal offense. That's the argument to it. So that was the details behind it. The main point is that 3 million acres, 1.8 million people inhabit this place. Much of Tulsa is now considered part of Creek Nation. It's always been Creek territory, but treaties that were set up in the 1800s have been not honored by our federal government, and this ruling is just recognizing these many treaty agreements, and this is just for the Creek Nation specifically. So this ruling by the Supreme Court is very important because this is reaffirming protected land status for Native individuals. And like I said, this Oklahoma ruling is just for the Creek Nation, but it's definitely a positive for all indigenous people and the fight for indigenous sovereignty in general. And what I mean by that is that there are companies and even the federal government that try to take the land of natives because there are resources in these lands, and they really try to strong arm these nations. And it's really sad because it's been going on pretty heavily in recent years. It's kind of paralleling the Black Lives Movement in a way, because the Sioux tribe that I talked about that had to deal with the Dakota pipelines, they've been fighting that for 5-6 years, just as long as Black Lives Matters have been on the streets marching. They've been protesting similar things. I feel maybe they should kind of look at each other for inspiration. But in terms of Native Americans just in general, this will be a major win, but it's the battle. This is a battle for indigenous sovereignty. The war isn't over. Like I said, this is just the beginning. Indigenous people are looking to take back a lot of the land that was agreed to them. What that says for the state of Oklahoma, people have argued that it may give them less power in terms of, punishing individuals, because if it's on native land, then the state of Oklahoma has no control over this conviction any longer, so it goes straight to federal court. It may actually benefit Native individuals slightly more, but this person in the rape case, I think he was sentenced to 1,000 years. It may have went down to 500, so it is really irrelevant in his specific instance. But in terms of the overarching fight for indigenous sovereignty, it's a major win. It's a small win, but a necessary one. I think this actually came on the same day as the Dakota Access Pipeline decision, but this one, I guess the ruling kind of came out a little bit later, so hence why I'm reporting on it. Let me know what you all think of the ruling. Supreme Court's really been going in lately on their rulings on different things, but is this a good thing for you? Is it a bad thing? Do you not really care? Be really interested to know what you think. Leave a comment.